Jamie, what are your overall thoughts on the tour? What do you want from this?
I suppose there's a lot of excitement in the group, a lot of uncapped players. So I suppose we all just want to get together quickly and put on the best performance we can and just show how much it means to us to play for Ireland, I suppose.
You've had a little bit of betting in time, but say for argument's sake you're playing in the centre, there's those relationships with kind of, depending where you're playing 12, say in 10,
Yeah.
and your wingers as well.
Yeah.
And defending that take a little bit of time. How easy has it been in terms of establishing those relationships on the training ground?
Oh, it's been really easy. I mean, all of the centres, like say Stu or I know Hugh Gavin training, Jude, like they've all been really excited to get in, and they've been asking questions of maybe a few of us who've been in a bit longer, and training's been really competitive as well. So it's been pretty easy. We meet up regularly enough outside of training, in and around meetings and stuff to prepare. So it's seamless.
What's your I know we've asked you this a million times. What's your preference position-wise, and how difficult is it to? What are the different demands of playing 13, say, for example?
I suppose the different, like defensively, you're a bit of, as a 13, you're probably a bit of a defensive leader in the team. You look at Gary, what he does for whatever team he's involved with these days. He's really, I suppose, combative, and he leads the line. It's probably different from, say, being a fullback, but you're close to the ball as well. There's that little bits around where you're scanning, your talk to the 10 and stuff like that. So there is differences, but enjoying each position.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anne-Marie?
Hi Jamie, how are you?
Hi.
You've been in a few squads now at this stage. Any difference this time around with so many new faces, few new coaches, and obviously Andy's not here as well?
Yeah, it probably it feels a bit different just with all the, as you say, the new coaching staff and a lot of new players, but I suppose they were trying to bring the same standards that would have been when Andy was here. A lot of there's a few little tweaks, I suppose, to the game plan, but it's a lot of it's the same. The structure of the week is pretty much the same, and it's about living up to the standards that were set before us, I think.
Is that the message from the coaching team then, or has there been a message to say, listen lads, here's your chance to put your hands up?
Yeah, it's definitely a chance to put their hands up, but I suppose it's the lads who've been here a while who are kind of showing the younger lads how to prepare for games, how to train, how to bring your thoughts to meetings and etc. So we're just trying to raise the standard up to the level it was.
Thanks. Neil?
Jamie, does it change how you carry yourself when you're in a squad? People who are mostly more experienced to when you're in a squad now and a lot of players are uncapped?
I suppose. When you're in the squad with people with a lot more experience, you're probably looking to learn off them a lot. You're looking up to them. You're asking more questions. Well, maybe in this environment, when I've been here a couple of years now, so it's probably about passing on a bit more knowledge than I would. But at the end of the day, I'd still have questions to ask other lads, and I hope they'd feel comfortable to ask me questions. So it's a bit of a mix, I would say.
Does that help in terms of maybe naturally evolving as a leader, though, because of the situation you find yourself in?
Yeah, I would say so. I suppose, I've tried to, lead in training on the pitch with my actions mainly, and hopefully others can look up to that.
Thanks.
How did you, I suppose, find the step up to, you were involved in so many big games this year and in the last year, how did you find that?
It was obviously challenging, but I really enjoyed the challenge. I think the bigger games, the more big games you play, the more you want to play in the big games, if you know what I mean. And it's once you get a first taste of a really big game, you just you do anything you can to get back in there, and you learn a lot from the preparation in the week and how you learn a lot from those games. So it's really enjoyed them.
I suppose probably like builds you as a player as you're going along and getting those experiences.
Yeah, I think you definitely get a bit more confidence in your abilities once you're able to perform in those games.
Thanks. Sorry, Pat, then Derek. That's okay.
Like there's a lot of really valid questions about like where do you kind of see your position, but you look at someone like Elliot Daly and he's on his third Lions tour, he's slotting in everywhere, like he's Mr. Dependable in a way, like anywhere you get in. Like is that something like that you look at and think, if I can plug in across the back line, you've played every position, like across the back line, since you started as a pro player, is that a strength as well? Is that something that you'd like to kind of carry on doing as your career goes on?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a strength, and sometimes it can seem a bit like a bit of a weakness at times if you're, say, not selected and you're thinking maybe I should be a bit more, specialise in a certain position. But when you look at him and you look at his performance at the weekend, how reliable he was and how classy of an operator he is, really. So I think it's definitely a strength. I suppose over time we'll see, and hopefully can figure it out how to best utilise it.
And then you no sooner have you waved goodbye to Jordy Barrett, seeing him off, patting him on the back, and then Riku Ioane's coming in as well. Like I was listening to an interview recently with Ryan Crotty, like he played in the Nanu and Conrad Smith era, and he was saying for himself, he's like, okay, if I'm not certain I'm not good enough, what else do I have to do to improve it? Like you have big competition coming in again there next season, like a seasoned All Black. Like does that drive you again? Is that a challenge thrown down to you that you want to go in and kick on from this tour next season as well?
I think so, yeah. There's a lot of players in Leinster probably feeling similar. Because obviously Rico's played and he's obviously sent 13 mainly recently. He's also played a lot in the wing, so there's probably a lot of us in Leinster who are eager to see what he's like and look forward to the challenge of trying to maybe compete with him in training and also be his teammate on the pitch.
Thanks, Derek.
We all think we know PaulConnell. He's been playing since before you were born. He's a great icon of Irish rugby and people think they know him. So can you tell us what you've learned about PaulConnell? I know you are with him in the senior squad, but you haven't face on face here. What's he like? How do you find him?
Like he's similar to what he's been like in past camps. Really, he's unbelievably detailed in his preparation and in his delivery of messages. You know exactly what he wants from you, and it's you really want to live up to his expectations of you, because he'll tell you if you're not, and he's honest like that. So I think he's been brilliant in the head coach role as well, and I'm looking forward to working with him more.
He was one of the first people we ever heard say meetings go on too long, and he's serious. He believes in really short, sharp meetings, doesn't he? Do they happen in the side of the hallway, or do they happen in the kitchen in the meeting? Are you a fan of that? He comes up and say he just likes to get it out quickly.
Yeah, I think if short, sharp meetings are probably the best, because there's probably fewer messages and you can take them all in, write down a few notes, and he'll only say the main messages really. And if there's a couple of main messages, the focus going in for a match, your mind is pretty clear. You know exactly what you're focusing on, and you can it's easier to bring that in.
At the risk of having you go no. Have you looked at the Georgian squad yet? Did you know, for instance, that the out half went to Ternier College? The fullback must be in your under 20s age group, is he? That guy who's on the rest of the world team.
I think so. Yeah.
So if you could go, what do you know about the Georgians? Bit about Tato Abjanel, that's Ali, who went to Ternier, and the fullback Davina, who's getting picked on the rest of the world teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, I only heard yesterday that he went to Ternier. I didn't know too much about the Ternier part of things, but David Ninyashvili, I mean, he's a proper good attacking threat, isn't he? You definitely don't want to kick loosely to him. He's got great feet, great pace, and he's been tearing it up in the top 14. For looking at centres, you look at Kavezaladze. He scored a good try against Ireland a few years ago, didn't he? And he's played against him in Gloucester as well. So you know, they've got threats across the back line, and as we know, in the pack as well. So it's going to be physical, and they've got a bit about them in the back three as well. So you definitely don't want to be
Did you
too
play
loose.
against them at underage?
I never played Georgia yet.